Good morning and welcome to the Bricks and Banter podcast. Dylan is not with us this morning, but we do have a wonderful guest in the name of Jake Painter, real estate agent here at Remax Jazz. Good morning, Jake. How are you?
Good. Yourself?
Very good. Thank you. So this is an interesting little surprise. This came up out of nowhere, didn't it?
It is.
Yeah. So this is, it's great to have you on here. We were talking before we set up for the show, a couple of things. You are a very unique realtor. I think you're a very unique realtor.
A little bit.
Yeah, you are. And this is why I think you're unique. And then I want to get into asking you some questions.
Awesome.
I first met you a few years ago. You were in the office, but you weren't a realtor.
Yeah.
So I think you would explain to me that you were doing an internship or admin or assistant work,
Little co-op
correct?
position. Actually, my last year high school there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Now, you're also very young.
Yeah, I'll be 22 in about a month.
22.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. You are probably the youngest licensed realtor I know.
One of them and the youngest in the brokerage here for sure.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Sounds good. So this is where I thought this would be a unique story because you didn't venture off into another career. You haven't had a career for 10 years and then said, you know what, that's a dying industry, or I just don't want to do it. It doesn't excite me anymore.
Right.
It sounds like to me is that you were interested in real estate, must be from a young age.
I mean, I kind of found my groove into real estate almost accidentally. I think I always liked the kind of people aspect and getting to talk with new people, that sort of thing, meet new people, meet and greets, that sort of thing. And so, I mean, I naturally just went down this path of what kind of industry is going to allow me to do what I love. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where I fell into real estate, really.
Yeah. So was there something that triggered you, that got you into it? Like, were you, I was going to say like 10 years ago, it would have been 12.
Yeah. I mean, if I think back, I was probably like 14, 15. And I was thinking about, I wasn't too sure. I was like every other kid out there at that age, mm-hmm. right? You're just kind of getting into your first part-time job. You're trying to figure out what you want to do. And there's a lot of pressure on people, I think, young, going into high school and coming close to the end there of where you're going to go to school, what are you going to do, what's your career. Mm-hmm. It's a big decision to make. Yeah. And so, like I said, for me, I think I just slowly, through the diversity of everything that you can do in real estate, you have the investment side, you have the people side of everything. It really was just the right niche for me to get into.
Yeah. And it's not like you've planned to be here. I was going to say, it's not like you've stumbled into this, but you've progressed into this
slowly. Yeah.
Yeah. But you've progressed with success too.
Yes.
Like, you've been very successful. Like, you've won a couple of awards here, I think at the Remax Jazz brokerage.
Yes. Last year.
Right. So at our annual awards event. So, it's not like something that you've struggled with to get into.
For sure. And I think that's where the big people aspect comes into things. Getting along with all sorts of types of people and being willing to put yourself out there, huge thing in our industry.
Yeah. And you're not afraid to talk to people, because I find that, generationally people were like, oh, they're not engaged. They know they're, right. That generation is lazy.
Yes.
And
big stigma.
You meet any young person at this brokerage and they just seem to be operating at a completely different level and a much higher level.
I do appreciate it.
Yeah. Because I've met you a couple of times, like business functions, like, events at Remax Jazz. I've never thought of you as being 22.
Yeah. Right? Really young. And I was,
he doesn't look 22, does he?
And 2021 when I got into it.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So then how long have you been a licensed realtor?
A year and a half, almost exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, a year and a half. I got my license a year and a half ago, and then started right in at beginning of last year.
Okay.
And then had the full last year, like you said, won a couple of awards through my success and stuff. And then we've been powering through this year as well.
Okay. So then here's my other question for you. How did you end up at Remax Jazz?
So like I said, I started a co-op position in grade 12 there. Mm-hmm. Was fortunate enough to be set up with Emilio Coronado here in the office, and obviously well-known top producer here in the office. And it was a great mentorship program. I got to see everything from the way he operates his business to how he interacts with clients. As I got out of that co-op position, I got hired on as assistant, and getting to proofread that paperwork before even getting licensed into and being a part of the brokerage. I had processed probably 150-ish deals.
Wow.
And so being able to see that listing paperwork that many times and knowing where all the signatures go, right?
Yeah.
It's a huge kind of step in the right direction getting into the industry.
That's cool. That's cool. Now, Emilio he is a very structured, successful agent. Do you think it would have been different had you worked with someone else who was maybe not as structured, maybe not as successful?
I think for me, I think I need a similar structure.
Yeah.
I mean, real estate's one of those things that there's nobody that's going to call you if you don't show up, right?
Yeah.
You can roll out of bed at noon if you want, get into the office for 2, make 1 or 2 calls and go home, call it a day, right? For me,
I worked all day.
Yeah, right. It's so you can fall into that trap really easy.
Yeah.
And so for me, I need that structure. I need a certain time to get into the office. I need a certain time to make calls. I need a certain time for appointments.
Yeah.
Having that structure has definitely been a leading cause of my success, I would say.
Yeah. So being younger, have you experienced challenges when you're out there in the marketplace? You're out there maybe hosting an open house, or, maybe meeting a client for the first time and they're kind of like, whoa.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those things. Most people, when they think realtors, they think someone who's a little bit older in the industry, maybe mid-30s or so, right? And they've either done there's all types out there, right? And so most people don't expect a 21-year-old to get out of the car and pitch them on selling their house. So it's definitely a little bit of a challenge sometimes. But there's both sides to that coin, right? Sometimes I show up and they are thrilled that it's someone young at the door. They're thrilled to have a conversation when I'm able to show the knowledge that I have in the market, no different than anybody else. Sometimes it works in my favor at the same time. Yeah.
Now you keyed in on something there that I think is vastly different. Now, this is my experience in the industry, is that you've got someone that's been in the industry for, maybe 10, 15 years, such as myself.
Yep.
Maybe a little bit complacent. I try not to be.
Yep.
But I find the younger generation of people that are coming in here who are serious about this are armed to the teeth with statistics, information, a clear path of what people need to do. Yep. Is that someone that does I describe you there?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, going into it, I know that I don't have the thing to fall back on if I got 15 years in the business. I got 10 years in the business, right? Here's all my success, right? Starting out, you don't really have anything to go off of. And so for me, it's highlighting my knowledge in the marketplace and what I'm going to be able to provide to them. Not only tell them, but then be able to show them, whether that's bring marketing material that give them a visual of what they're going to be able to expect when they work with me. Those things, because like I said, I don't have the experience, quote unquote, to be able to fall back on like a lot of people in the industry that have been doing it for 10, 15 years to have.
So knowledge and statistics and information and marketing, it's all that stuff that you can execute, I would think, as effectively and possibly even better in some aspects.
Absolutely.
Than some of maybe I'll say myself, right? Because social media, when it first started, I was okay with that.
Right.
And I did my Facebook stuff and my Instagram stuff.
Yeah.
You've grown up with it. You know it and understand it inside and out.
Yes, somewhat, I would say. I would definitely say, being 21, most people would look at me and go, you're probably right to the T's with social media, Instagram, videos. I got to be honest, I don't know a ton about it.
Really?
I've never really been super involved in social media, even actually starting out last year in the business, like making an Instagram page for my business account and that sort of thing and having a post. I didn't have anything to post really, right? I'm not selling a house every other week and I don't got an open house that I'm running all the time. So me finding content to be able to put out there for the public to be able to see, sometimes it's a little bit of a struggle, but it was never my strong suit. What I really found was something that worked for me, going back to that routine, get in the office early in the morning, plan your day. What are the goals that you want to do, right? Most jobs out there, you got somebody who's said, hey, by 5 o'clock when you leave, this has got to be submitted to me, whatever the case may be. Yeah. And so I always looked at that as, if I'm coming into the office at 8:30, 9 o'clock, I'm starting calls. I'll do a 3-hour call block, 45 minutes, 15-minute break, get out of the office, stretch my legs, whatever it may be.
Wow.
And then from there, I mean, I'm in the office, right? Lock the door, 45 minutes. I'm headstrong on those phones and see what comes of it. So that structure's really been able to lead to that success and lead to that. The social media thing, it's something I got to work on still for sure.
Really, that surprises me because the assumption is he's young, social media, right? But it sounds like you're more grounded in statistical information, being organized, having a plan, and coming to the office every day, being engaged in the things that are going on in the office, because you are self-employed.
Yes.
And like you said earlier, you're self-employed, get up at 10, nobody's going to mark me down as being late,
Yep.
Whereas I'm a little bit different. Like I'm more of a night owl. I'm not
Right.
I'm not the morning guy.
Yep.
So I'll be up at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning,
Yep.
cranking away on ideas.
Definitely.
And then writing them down. And by the time I get out of bed the next morning, I'm going for it.
Yep.
But I've just never been that morning person.
Yeah.
So good on you for being, organized and being structured in the office on that.
Yeah. And I think success in that industry or in this industry can really come in all forms, right? You say you're more of a night person.
Yeah.
Your ideas come to you at night. Yeah. You can get just as much done or more. It just depends on how you use your time.
Yeah.
Right. If we block off the same 6 hours, mine's in the morning, yours is at night, we can have the same success, or one could blow the other person out of the water.
Yeah.
Right. It really just depends on how you use that time and if it's effective.
Yeah. I've always admired Emilio's structure in his routine, and that's who you mentored with in the office. He is strict. He's regimented. Yes. Don't bug him. Don't knock on his door.
Exactly.
Just leave me alone. Let me do my thing.
Yeah.
And that has, over the last, I would say 10, 11 years that I've known him, he's been very successful. So
for sure,
that is an excellent mentor.
Definitely.
To have. I don't know if I could have mentored you in the same way.
Well, and like I said, right, it worked for my personality trait. Yeah. It worked for me. I need that structure in my career and in my life. And so being able to shadow with somebody and do the co-op and then be hired as an assistant. I mean, I did that from the age of 17 to 20 when I got my license. Right. Wow. So having that time to really see it and be all over it is really what I think helps in the long run.
How does it feel at 22, right? To go out there and have someone place that trust in you and then having your sign on their yard, representing them.
No better feeling.
Really?
Yeah. I always say, I mean, whenever I show up, I go in with the intent of I'm going to take that listing or I'm going to get the buyer's contract signed.
Yeah.
And so being loaded with the stats and being loaded with everything, I go in fully confident.
Yeah.
I know what I'm able to provide to those clients and I just need to show my worth, basically my value. So when I do get that signature on that paperwork and I'm able to bring it back to the office, no better feeling than taking a picture of that sign on the front lawn.
Yeah, no, it is good. And, just in the few minutes that we've been chatting here, you strike me as the type of person that you are almost more interested in taking care of that person.
Absolutely.
Than you are necessarily, it's a transaction.
Yes.
Right? There's more to come from this than just simply a transaction. You're prepared enough that that transaction is going to happen, is what I kind of understand from you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, I'm fully confident in what I'm able to bring to the table for whether they're buying, selling, looking for a lease, or whatever the case may be, whatever their real estate needs are, that's what I'm here to help with.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's a huge thing is I go in with the confidence and I know what I'm able to provide. Now it's just the time for me to sit down with them and show them the value that I'm able to bring to them.
Yeah. And you're able to earn their trust because you've had success.
Absolutely.
So you've been the type of person that's come in armed with the information, earned their trust, and built a relationship from what I understand.
Absolutely. And the relationship really starts way back before that initial meeting even happens face to face, right?
Yeah.
Whether I've not door knocked them, I've called them on the phone, that initial conversation, I always say, isn't the most valuable. Yeah. What happens between that initial conversation and getting paperwork signed, that's the time to shine. That's where you have a relentless follow-up. And it's not you're following up to, hey, are you ready to sell now? Are you ready to sell? It's calling and checking in on the family. If you know that they've recently went in for a surgery, hey, how'd the surgery go? Yeah. Is there anything you need, real estate related or not? Can I help?
Yeah. My son's in real estate and he's young and he has a pretty good business acumen as well. But you're absolutely right. It's that understanding, it's getting to know them. It's, and I've always said this because Mary Noakes taught me this: when people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yes.
That's a favorite line
100%.
of mine, right? And if you show a caring, it's gone beyond a transaction and now you're into, this is a relationship.
Yes.
And, I have a lot of those. I've kind of prided myself on that.
Definitely.
I've never been the top agent, never wanted to be.
Yep.
That's a lot of work to get up there and be,
for sure,
that top agent, the top gal, lady at the office, top guy at the office, whatever it is, don't care.
Definitely.
Mine has always been around that relationship. So that relates to me.
100%.
Right?
And it's a relationship. Like I said, I keep going back to the people skills, right? Is being able to talk with people and being able to have conversations. I mean, I can't tell you how many listing appointments I've went on and once you kind of get over that first little barrier, like I said, I step out, I'm young, and they go, ooh, I don't know about this. Once I start talking, you're not just talking business, right? You're talking personal and everything. So, I mean, once you build that rapport with them, I mean, once that paperwork's signed, then they feel fully comfortable.
Well, that's great. That's really good. So you've been in it for a year and a half. You've had some great success. You've built some great relationships. How do you grow from here? What's your plan? What's Jake's plan to grow in the industry?
It's like I said, there's a lot of different avenues you can go down, right? I've always kind of taken a liking to cold calling. I try to get out door knocking just to get face to face every once in a while, especially when I got a reason to door knock.
Yes.
If I've sold a listing, I mean, I try to at least walk up and down each side of that street, talk to the neighbors, build that rapport. They've seen my face on the lawn there a little bit. So it's a little bit of an icebreaker for sure.
Okay.
So I think for me, I think it's just consistency. Goes back to the scheduling in relation to 9 a.m. I'm in the office, 9 till noon, I'm making those calls, 1 till 2, I'm making the follow-ups, 2 to 3, 2 to 4, I'm trying to set those appointments. Right. And so I think continuing to do that and just that relentless follow-up, like I said, that initial conversation doesn't mean a whole lot. And taking the listing, that's not where it matters. What matters is the maybe 6 months to a year that you're going to talk to them between those 2 points.
And it is a long cycle, isn't it? Like it's not, and I think that's why the numbers are lower. And the people that are successful and have consistency in the industry realize that that this is going to be 6 months to a year, like you said.
Yeah.
Right. So that's interesting that you've recognized that at a very young age.
Definitely.
Sorry, I gotta take a drink.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I would say for my first actually few calls I ever did at the start of last year, I realized that pretty early on. I always say now that whoever I talk to today is going to pay off in roughly about a year, right? You want to be busy this time next year, you got to come to work today. Yeah. And so it's been a true saying so far.
Yeah. Bill Shackleton taught me when I was first in the industry, and we used to tour every Tuesday morning.
Yep.
He said, you can be as busy as you want because you only get out of this industry what you put into it.
Absolutely.
And I think you're in that class where, you rise above that typical, I would say, judgment of what salespeople are. Right?
There's a huge stigma around it. I mean, you think sales, everybody thinks car sales.
Car sales,
right? It's car salesmen.
I think we're second on that list.
Yeah, right. It's car salesmen and realtors, right? And so we kind of have a bad rep around us. Anybody in the sales industry, I think, does. I mean, most people, they're not looking to necessarily sell their house, right? I make 30, 40 calls a day, and 99% of the time it's nope. And it's a quick hang up. So I think being relentless in that and just going, no, next one, right? Nope, next one. It's a thing you got to get over, and it's a thing you got to overcome for sure.
Did you ever hear Dave's analogy when he was first there? It's like dating.
No,
right? Someone's going to go to the dance with me if I ask enough girls to go to the dance.
True. Someone's going to everybody. I mean, there's got to be one out there.
And if you never ask, they're never going to go to the dance.
That's just it. That's just it. You really got to put yourself out there in this industry.
Yeah. So where do you see yourself in like 2 years from now? 3 years from now? Let's go about 5 years from now. Like what's your plan in the industry? Like where are you going to go?
I really like to see the growth, and I really like to see, I mean, I'm surrounded all in the office here by super successful realtors, yourself included, of people that have scaled their business, and they all started at the end of the day from right where I started. Yeah. And so I know that there's the potential out there. It's just now it's time to put the work in. Yeah. As we talked about earlier in this podcast too, is I don't necessarily have something to fall back on, right? I didn't come from another industry. And so for me, I'm all in. Yeah. And so I got nothing to do but succeed. I got nothing but time on my hands for the next 5 years, right? So, I mean, I just really like to just continue powering through, power through those calls, make that client relationship, and see where the success takes me.
Okay. Sounds good. I'll share a little bit about me because I like how I got into the industry to almost 16 years ago. I quit my corporate job. Drove out the 401. So wow. we're in Ontario. So if anybody knows listening that the 401, they know what that drive is like. Yep. Left the corporate job, left my manager behind, left the corporation behind. And, I won't say I was sad, but I was like, well, I left an industry I was in for 16 years prior to that.
It's a big change.
It is a big change. And I remember specifically driving along the 401 and hitting just before I hit the off ramp to come to our brokerage.
Yep.
I was like, oh my God, what did I just do?
It's a big step.
Like, what did I just do? A mortgage, kids, car payments. And I went from a corporate job to
steady salary,
benefits, car allowance, all that stuff that I had.
Yeah.
And, I was obviously, I was in a different position. I think it was, if I do it backwards, I was 38 or 39 coming into the industry. I was terrified. I was like, what the heck did I just do? Walked into the brokerage and I was like, plunked down at a desk and I'm like, now what?
And there's not a whole lot of navigation out there, right? You get given an office, you get given a phone.
Yeah.
And like we've talked so many times already, is no one's going to call you at 10, 11, 12 if you don't show up. You don't show up for a week, you don't show up for a week.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, we thought you were on vacation. We didn't care.
Nice to see you back, right?
Yeah. Nice to see your smiling face. So, that's where I kind of came from. So I worked in the graphic communications and advertising industry for years, right? Is where my dad worked long before I did. And I kind of just rode on his coattails and kind of went into that industry. So that's where I came from. And I did have a bit of a sales background there, but never had the official sales training.
Right.
I only started doing that on my own when I got into here, and I started talking to, like you said, like some of the super successful agents. What are you doing? Well, I'm going to see Tom Ferry. I'm going to see Richard Robbins. I'm going to see Anthony Robbins. All these key level speakers.
Definitely.
And, I kind of learned that it's not just sales. It's not out there pushing product and hey, you want to buy? Today's a good time to buy. Now is a great time to buy. Don't miss this opportunity. The TV, late night TV sales.
For sure.
Right?
For sure. And that's where we get that bad name, right? It's a big push. They're just trying to make a sale.
Right. Like I think I had a Ronco food dehydrator from like when I was 21, like your age, right? Thinking up too late, too many drinks, and I've got a food dehydrator.
Totally.
I used once. But, so learning about sales, there's a lot more to it. And I think kudos to you for, getting in there and understanding it. And I hope people really appreciate the fact that, where you're coming from, right? You're not jaded. You're super talented. So where I was going with that was are you doing other sales related courses, or are you just learning based on statistics and relationships? How does that?
I've always been someone that learned always hands-on. I learned by doing, even through my whole schooling career, from the time I got enrolled in school to the time I left. I was always hands-on learning. Yeah. The courses out there that were tech, wood shop, all those things where I could actually build things, and I was told, hey, this is how you do it. Show me once and I'll be able to do it 1,000 times. Yeah. I can't sit in front of a computer and just read through paperwork all the time.
Nope.
However, if it's something I'm interested in, if I'm previewing an offer for a client, if I'm looking over listing documentation, I love that.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of weird balance that I find. And frankly, in the industry, there's so many avenues, like I mentioned, that you can go down, right? And so it's really free falling of where you can go. Yeah.
And I found it to be, even though I went on these courses and I went to the Kickstart and the Activate events at the big convention center where you've got the rah 800 people, keynote speaker stands up and everybody goes nuts.
Yes.
Right. I was always thinking, this is great. Like it got me into it. And my very first one, I think I went with David Noel here. And I didn't even think I was licensed.
Oh, really?
I think they snuck me in.
Yeah, fair enough. It's never too early to start.
I was working on it, and I'm like, oh my God, this is what this is like?
Yeah.
Because I saw so many opportunities to learn.
Yes.
And expand, right? Like, in my old job, it was like, you'd understand the production part of it, and I can fold up a piece of paper and turn it into a book, which is a craft and an art in its own. But understanding that, what the depth that we're going to when we're doing this and talking to lawyers and home inspectors and all this other stuff. So kind of sounds like that's where you kind of learn, is sitting with a lawyer and saying, what do you do?
For sure. And that's where I think the co-op position, me getting into the industry, was so helpful for me because, working with Emilio, I was previewing all his paperwork. He'd take a listing appointment, he'd bring it, put it on my desk, and I was in charge of bringing it to the front desk and setting everything up so he could continue to prospect.
Yeah.
And so for me to be able to proofread those contracts ahead of time and be able to get that hands-on experience, super helpful for me.
Yeah.
Not everybody's going to be able to learn that way. Some people learn by just reading slideshows, right? And a lot of our schooling nowadays to become a real estate agent, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Right. You're sitting down at a computer, you're clicking through slideshows and you're reading words on a screen.
Yeah. I find it doesn't resonate as much. Like when I did it 16 years ago, you were given a 512 page book.
Yep.
Here, read this. You know how many times I fell asleep at my dining room table with my face planted right in the book?
Yep. Or you start reading for half an hour and you go, I don't even know single thing I just read, and you got to start all over.
I don't remember the first page of this chapter.
Yep. Right? That's just it.
I know. Okay. So NOI versus the capitalization and the, what was the NOI again?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's tough. Right. And so I found even going through and getting my license, I really had to sit down and focus. I had to, same as I do now, I had to block that time off and sit down and go, okay, I'm going to take the next hour and a half and I'm just going to study.
Yeah.
And I mean, going through my exams and stuff, I was the same way. I really had to sit down and focus because it wasn't my strong suit of learning. It's unfortunate that it's the only way to get your license is they tend to one type of person and one type of learning strategy. But I mean, we got through it, and now I'm lucky enough to be able to have kind of the free reign to be able to do what I want. Yeah. Yeah. You can learn your own ways, your own things, and, choose to mentor or sit with people. I found tour to be really helpful. Yes. I used to tour with Gary, our old manager. Yep. And Gary was great at teaching you old school stuff. Right? Yes. I just found it was like, oh my God, I've been on this earth for, 45 years. I had no idea to look there to see how old something was or see the positives or negatives behind it. Yes. Now, when you go back and talk to your clients, you can take his insight and you can share that with your clients. Well, and that's the thing, when you surround yourself in this industry, especially just starting out, whether you started out at 35, you started out at 20, when you surround yourself by people that have been in the business for a long time, they have all the tips and tricks. Dave says all the time, right? He's made all the mistakes 1,000 times. So when you got a question, come and tell them, right? Ask them. They're here to help. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And we do have good training here. Like our staff that's here, front desk catches a lot of mistakes. Mary helps out, Gary, Scott, everybody that used to, not used to, is still involved in the industry. I mean, I've called our manager 11 o'clock at night, picks up the phone, answers the question. So yeah, even for myself, like 16 years in, I'll say 16 now, I still have questions. Oh, for sure. Like you get something that, like they constantly change our forms. Yes. All the time. Like, I did a listing last night and I'm like, when did they change that? Yep. Or when did this form get added? I did one 2 weeks ago and now I'm doing another one. I'm like, huh? Yeah. Like, when did that change? What do I need to do here? Yeah. What am I getting my client to sign? That's just yeah. You've got to be well versed. So it's always kind of like constant learning, and having my son back in the industry, it's kind of really kickstarted me for sure with having that. And that's where I like that, millennials used to get this bad rap. Oh, they're lazy. They don't want to do anything. And I find I find the younger generation, younger than me, the ones that are doing it, man, they're good at it. Like they're really good at it. Like yourself, like you're good at it. Yes, there are the ones that are not motivated, but the ones that are motivated and they're out there and they're working and they're getting their education, they're doing things. Holy smokes, they're good. Yeah. Well, and I think in our industry too, I think most people that get into the business, whether, like I said, you start as a second career or third career, you're starting right out of school, is I think everybody has this new thing of, oh, I'm going to be so successful. And I got so much drive and ambition. Yeah. And I think as you go on, if you don't find things that you enjoy doing, you don't find that right thing for you, I think that's where you kind of see that energy slowly deplete. And then people kind of are around that 5-year mark, 3-year mark, even where they're going, my business is at a standstill. Yeah. Right. How do I scale? I don't know how I can get out of this little bit of a slump that I'm in. Yeah. And it's honestly 99% of the time it's going back to the roots and the basics. Being here for only a year and a half, Dave and Noel put trainings on all the time. And I've went back for a second, third class sometimes just to hear the basic of the basic. New people join the brokerage. Okay, what have I started to forget that I should be doing? Right. Yeah. And that those are going to be the key things to continuing to grow. Yeah. And I think and again, this is my personal opinion, I think having younger people in the brokerage, younger people that are dedicated, I lump myself in there, can learn a lot because they've just gone through the schooling. They kind of have a different look on it. Right. And if you're not open to having a different opinion, then you're stuck in your old ways of doing things. And that's not always the best way. Yeah. There's so many ways that you can run your business, right? There's so many different avenues you can go down. And so a lot of it comes from the basics, and it's the stuff of pick up the phone, right? Knock on the door. That's the only way you're going to get the client. You sitting in the office isn't going to bring the clients to you, right? And so I think as you scale your business and you get busier, sometimes you forget to do those things, right? You got people to follow up with, you got paperwork to do, and you start forgetting to prospect. And then you got maybe
Guilty.
yeah, you're right.
Guilty.
Everybody does it. I did it my first few deals. I mean,
Yeah.
I started last year. I had one seller I was working with and one buyer, and I just thought I was swamped. I was like, how do I follow up with them all the time? How am I going to do all this paperwork?
Yeah.
And I had probably a month and a half where I just stopped prospecting. Well, after those deals went through, I'm at square one again.
Yeah.
Right. So now I'm like, oh, wait, I got to do this all over again. I got to keep the pace going.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can kind of see the benefit of having someone in the background to do some of that paperwork for you,
sure.
Right?
For sure. And I mean, the team that we have here at Remax Jazz is incredible.
Yeah. Are you good at paperwork?
I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I'm necessarily good at it. Sometimes I get a email from front desk there. Hey, you missed this. I go, oh, my bad. I get it over to you ASAP. Right.
Yeah.
But I enjoy putting it together. Usually when you're putting paperwork together, you're either going on an appointment, you're getting face to face with the client, or you're going to call your client and say, hey, I got an offer coming for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love the conversation side of the business.
Right.
Right. So I get out and I talk to my clients and I get excited about what they're excited about.
Yep.
So that's my downfall, right? Is I get so engaged in what they're doing that occasionally, and previously Leanne would say probably more than occasionally, I would forget components that I would need to get done.
Right.
But it's a quick circle back
to
get there. But that's just the way I found that I worked. Like as soon as they said, okay, let's go look at houses, I was like, yes.
Go right away.
Yeah, let's go. When are we going? Are we going this afternoon? Are we going tomorrow? When are we going?
For sure.
Sunday? Monday? When are we going?
Sure.
Want to go Sunday and Monday?
And that's the thing is when you start out and even I don't think that'll ever wear off. I could be wrong, but I mean, I think me looking 15 years from now, I think when I go and take a listing, I'm still going to be just as excited to see my sign go on their front lawn as I am now. Right. I don't think that ever goes away.
It doesn't. I can guarantee you it doesn't, because the excitement of it is interesting. Like it's interesting.
Yes.
I can't really explain it. It's not like I always say we're not rocket scientists.
Right.
We aren't. Like we aren't solving world hunger or anything like that. We're not doing that. But the excitement is different. It kind of gives you a little bit of a really positive boost, and you want to get out there and do more, and you want to talk to people. And like when I first started out, and actually I still like them, but it's just they've changed. It's open houses.
Yep.
I used to love doing open houses. People would come in and ask you questions, and you would be able to intelligently answer the questions.
For sure.
Not just fill the conversation with blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
But I was able to speak to, different construction components of the house.
Nice.
Because we invested in properties and we fixed them up, and, listening to plumbers, listening to home inspectors, listening to electricians, and by no means am I qualified to do any of that. But when you have
the experience.
Yeah, you've been engaged with it.
For sure.
Right. So when someone's looking at it and they say, oh gosh, I've got to change the panel here, that's going to take forever. It's going to cost me tens of thousands of dollars to do it.
Yeah.
No, it's not going to cost you tens of thousands of dollars to do it.
Yeah.
A panel is X number of dollars, and have someone come in and redo it for you and fix it all up. No, you're probably looking at the course of, $5,000 to $6,000.
So from that too, it kind of sounds like you learn more hands-on too throughout your career.
I'm very much hands-on.
Yeah.
Right. That's why I think you and I are very similar and kind of connect that way.
For sure.
Is if someone shows me how to build a deck, I'll remember 90% of what I was supposed to do in order to build a deck.
Right.
Your beams, your joists, your stringers, you got all that stuff. You've got your railing, your stairs, all that. Like I remember all of that stuff.
Right. Rather than just reading a blueprint.
If someone gave me a book and said, here's a book on how to build a deck, I'd be like, oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah. It'd take me a long time just to get through the book and then start.
First chapter. I'm like, buy the wood. Oh, okay. What was I supposed to do again? Oh yeah. Go to the lumber store.
Yeah.
Right. Come back and, I forgot to read chapter 2. I'm not supposed to buy this type of lumber. I'm supposed to buy that type of
pressure
lumber.
treated or
Right. So for me, it would be, I'm very much hands-on.
Yep.
And here's something that I find really, really funny about me is that I get most things, but there are certain things that trip me up.
Oh, for sure.
And one of the things that trips me up, and I just did this at home and it reminded me of it, and it was just a funny story. 3-way switches for electrical.
Yep.
Right. So I've got, I'm going to do a little shout out for Matt Goddard. He's my electrician, right? Because he's an ESA guy. He's wonderful. He's an amazing guy. Shows me every time he comes to my house.
Nice.
This is how you wire a 3-way switch.
Yep.
Right. So I'm like, perfect. Great.
I'm good to go now.
I'm good to go now. Right. Get the top switch done. Go down to the bottom. I'm like,
what do we do here? Yeah.
Okay. Is the common on the black? Is it black the common? Is the red the common? No, the red's not. So I wire it up. He comes back a week later, right? Because he always checks my stuff.
For
right?
Sure. That's good with electrical too.
Yeah. And he looks at it and he's like,
what are you doing?
I just showed you how to do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know, but
this is not my area of expertise.
I don't know what it is. Like all the other electrical stuff I can kind of get, right? Because he walks through, he goes, yeah, no, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. You need to fix this. Shouldn't do this. Shouldn't do that. I'll fix everything up and clean it up and get it done.
Nice.
3-way switches? Nope.
Yeah, they hang you up.
Not a chance. Can I figure those darn things out?
Yeah.
Like it just infuriates me. But yes, I do learn hands-on, but not in that scenario.
So how have you found in your business over the course of the past 15, 16 years, how have you found that that's either been a strength or a weakness for you? Like what areas have you found that that's really helped you in?
Being hands-on. So, okay, let me see if I can structure that answer for you. I'll go and talk to like our lawyer that we have, like Mark Armstrong. I'll talk to our lawyer and he'll say, okay, in future, this is what you need to do.
Right.
And he points it out to me. Okay, great. Perfect. Well, now I know I'm going to register that. Like if I had read a law course or if I had read anything about law and contractual law, I'd be like, huh?
Yeah, this doesn't make any sense.
This doesn't make any sense to me. But when Jen or Mark sits down and goes, okay, this is what you need to do in the future.
Right.
This is the information you can probably dispense, but then get them over to us.
Right.
But at least point them in the right direction. And here's what you need to know. Same thing with a home inspection and stuff. So, and even like when we used to tour with Gary, like we would do certain things and you would do them over and over again. It was repetitive.
Now it's muscle memory.
Yeah. So now when I go back, I'm like, yeah, I remember Gary saying that. And it was really important. Or Dave said this, or Noel said that. And it was like, and then we went to the house and you would actually see, you would look up in the floor joist and you'd be like, okay, now I know where to look next time.
Right.
Right. It's if someone had sat there and told me about it and said, okay, in chapter 4,
yep, you're
going to read about, knob and tube wiring or
and you got 60 pages that you got to read on it and totally
done, glazed over. And so I think that's where, to answer your question, that's where it's helped me going on tour, being involved with other more experienced people than me, because there's a lot of those people out there and a lot smarter people than I am. So just taking the information that they have and not professing myself to be accountant, lawyer, electrician, or anything like that. Here's what I know.
Yeah.
Right. You can do this, this, and this, and this, but you need to bring in an electrician. You need to bring in an accountant.
Yeah.
You need to get that lawyer.
Focus on your area of expertise and kind of.
So, and my experience with my clients are like, oh, we never thought of that.
Yeah.
And then they've called the electrician or they've called the plumber and they've said, it's not nearly as bad as we thought it was going to be.
Right.
Like to replace all that stuff and fix it was only like $1,000 or $500.
Yep.
And they're like, we thought it was going to be way worse. So that insight for me allows the clients to not be so overwhelmed. So I would say that's how it's helped me.
For sure.
Right. And I've always tried to point things out to people. So, I go after the mechanical stuff in a house.
The bones and the structure.
That's what I look at.
Yeah.
Right. And some of the clients are off looking at the kitchen and the bathroom and these colors are really nice. And, this stuff is nice and the tile is great. The hardwood floor is terrible. And I'd remove the carpeting. I get it. Right. But, I can look at a window and say, okay, the window is 30 years old.
Right.
If you want real bang for your buck, replace the windows.
Yes.
Not the carpeting.
Yeah.
Because the windows are going to save you money.
Yeah.
Right. So that would be my kind of take on it. So that's how it's helped me in my industry. Cause I'm not scholarly. I don't have 3 degrees or anything like that. No.
Now you briefly touched on going with Dave and Noel to a few conventions, stuff like that. I know we get emails probably, I'd say every 2 weeks. There's one in, they're all over. I mean, they're all over North America here. Yeah. And so with going to a few of those, how have you found a benefit to that? I mean, you're surrounded by some of the most successful people in the industry there. Have you found those to be a great weekend away to be able to learn and adapt?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like and maybe some people are different, but my retention level is at 20%.
Yep.
Right. Max 20%.
Right.
I can sit there for 6 hours listening, scribing my notes down and everything else. Totally. And people are looking at me like, what are you doing? The slide presentation's available at the end of the thing. What are you writing the notes down for? I find that when I'm doing stuff like that, someone's teaching, someone's talking, I need to make notes.
Right.
Right. Because that's for me.
Your retainer points.
Right. So, but do I remember it all? No, not at all. Benjamin Tall. We went to one with talked to Benjamin Tall, and there's components of his speech that I still remember to this day.
Yeah.
Right.
Those standout
About
things.
economics and stuff like that, and mortgages and mortgage rates. And I do listen to a lot of other podcasts, ironically. One is the Angry Mortgage Guy.
Yep.
So, but I find that those trade shows, those conventions, you meet people, and those people become part of your network of people, of resources that you can go to. Do I like spending $700, $800, $900 to go to a convention?
Yep.
No, but if I come away with even 20% more knowledge than I had going in, I'm better off.
Money well spent.
And I've made good connections with other agents, other industry professionals.
Right.
Because this is where I find it helps me. I've had clients that have bought and sold all over the country, and actually some all over the world.
Yep.
And I've met enough people to say, hey, look, if you're going to Canmore in BC, or if you're going to Edmonton in Alberta, or you're going to Ottawa, look up this person and give them a call.
Amazing. Because
they're really good at what they do. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah.
You know someone out in BC? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you know these people. So now you're even more of an asset. You're a valuable asset to that person. Hey, do you know anybody else that's out there? Because I like my family and I are moving out there.
Right.
Give me 5 minutes. I'll call and I'll find out. Or you've got that person that's in there. Right. You've met the mortgage broker team from Calgary who was at a convention promoting their business. And you can say, okay, look, these people were really good.
Yeah. I've met them face to face. I've had an in-person conversation with them.
You and I connect well. So you're my type of person, my type of people. They were my type of people. So I think that connection will still be good. So it's not about the keynote speaker. It's not about the breakout sessions. It's not about any of that. I look at it and say, okay, I take 20% of all of that, some key things, and then I'm able to use them in my business.
And I think that's really important. Like I've always thought, going back to the scalability of the industry, is I'd like to eventually attend a few of those things. So you look at the big name keynote speakers in the industry. You got Mike Ferry.
Yeah.
You have these people who have so much knowledge, and all those people that are going to those venues and those conferences, they're all there for the same reason.
Yeah.
And so I've always looked at it. I see those emails and I'm so tempted, just like, I should book a weekend, pay the $800-900, go and see it. And then, like you said, you retain 20%. You can help advise your clients better. It leads to a lot more than just a weekend away.
Right. And I know there's probably 20% of people that do go away to those conventions.
Yeah.
They go to the first convention and like, boom, gone. Right. I'm going to see the sites. I'm going to see the historical things. And it's like,
you're either there for business or you're not. Right.
Whereas I've always kind of said, like, if I'm investing this and I'm flying out somewhere, I'm taking the train or I'm doing whatever, like even going into Toronto, it's not like, for us, it's not like just 10 minutes. It's, you're on the train at 7:00 in the morning, going in, being there for 9:00, getting your time invested. Totally. You're not back at 9:00 at night. If you're going to take that much time away from your family or your friends or the things that you would normally do,
it's got to be worth it.
It's got to be worth it.
For sure.
Right. So that's why when I'm actually thinking about going to the one in Halifax that's coming up this year.
I did just see that email get sent out.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I haven't been in a few years, but the last time I went, I did get a lot. That's the one I met Benjamin Tall.
Yeah. And
talked to him. I met the president at the time of Remax.
Right.
And so did my son. We sat there and had a conversation. This is a CEO of Remax.
Yeah. That's huge.
I'm sitting in the like, why is he talking to me?
Yeah.
I'm just a lowly agent out here in the middle of Oshawa.
Right. Just working in Durham. Yeah.
But he was engaged with me.
That's
right.
Cool.
Like, and he was chatting with me, and then he met my son and he was talking, and we're like, wow, it's 5 minutes, but he took 5 minutes to sit and talk to someone he doesn't know.
Yeah.
Didn't know me from a hole in the wall.
Well, and that's it. When you look at how many people are into the industry, like you look at the GTA alone, we go, 86,000 realtors.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you go to these conventions, you got to meet the CEO of Remax. It's like, that's a pretty incredible thing. They're talking to you feel like a nobody, right? But then you go, no, I do matter.
And I think a lot of it too is you realize how successful you have been in comparison sometimes, or you realize, ooh, I got to get my butt in gear because I'm lagging behind some of these other people.
For sure.
Right. And how they're building their business or how they're developing those things and what are they doing? Even if like one nugget they've put out there. Yep. Hey, you know what? We put out this, well, I mean, Noel does it for us, like this tremendous listing presentation book.
Right.
Right. Okay. Take a tweak on what they do, take a tweak on what we do. Okay. That's tremendous success.
Yes.
Now, yes, it's going to lead to more business, but it's also going to lead to you being better prepared for your clients.
For sure.
And your clients, and then in turn getting better service back from you.
Now, how have you kind of dealt through your 16 years in the industry of working through those slumps? Because I mean, we all hit them, right? We talked earlier about you got a couple listings on the go, you start doing them, right? When you get into these things of these kind of low energy pockets where you go, I feel like nothing's working out. I feel like I'm not able to do the same business, even though I feel like I'm doing all the same things.
Yeah.
What do you do to kind of navigate that? And that's coming from someone who's likes to hear the information from someone successful.
Yeah, that's a really good question, because that's a death spiral down. Right. It
can be
really can be. Everything's negative. They didn't pick me. They didn't like me. My hair was wrong. My suit was wrong, whatever it was. My business acumen is wrong.
Right.
You look at that, and all you do then is you focus in on the negative in a slump, right? They didn't pick me. Why?
Yeah.
Okay. Something was wrong. Something I didn't do. As opposed to maybe looking at it slightly differently as they made the mistake.
Right.
They didn't pick the best business acumen. They didn't pick the best, solution for what they have.
Right.
Right. And I think that's where you try and avoid those type of things. What I find works for me, going out and talking to people.
Getting face to face.
Go back, talk to people. Talk to people at the gas station. Talk to people. Start handing your business card out again. Yep. Right. In all the places that you go, that used to work for me when I first got in the industry, and I did it all the time. And then I stopped doing it.
Yep.
And I've got to go back there and say, okay, I'm in a bit of a slump. It's not the worst thing to happen in the world.
No, everyone's going to go through it.
Right. Here's my card. If you're ever thinking about real estate or have questions, give me a call.
For sure.
Right. Not, hey, are you thinking about listing? Are you thinking about listing?
Let me come over tomorrow. Right?
I'll be there tomorrow. Right. It reeks desperation.
For sure.
So I find, start those conversations again. Get back to doing the things that you used to do. Go do an open house. Talk to 5 people. After the open house, go knock on the doors. Right. I'll knock on the doors, and everybody in the neighborhood, hey, we were hosting an open house. This is what's going on. This is what's happening in the marketplace.
Yep.
Right. It's kind of how I built my business. I mean, I used to door knock in Port Perry. And I remember the one lady, I knocked on her door, and it was a blinding snowstorm. And I'm like, I'm finishing this street. I started out, it was okay. Good. By the time I got to the end of the street, it's this blinding snowstorm. Yep. And I literally, it's like, I just want to get rid of these postcards so I can go home. My fingers are numb.
Yep.
And I plowed through it. It finished the neighborhood, was out there for another hour and a half.
Nice.
Talked to this one lady, and she's like, my God, what are you doing out here?
Yeah.
She listed her house with me 3 months later.
Really?
Yeah.
It shows the dedication, right? You're setting yourself apart from everybody
Even
else.
If it was nothing else than just being a dork out in the snowstorm.
If it worked and got the listing, that's all that matters, right?
She was like, if you were willing to be out here in that type of weather, she goes, I could only imagine what you were willing to do, like if you had my house listed.
For sure.
Right? So I think that comes back to, it's not about what I'm doing, it's what I'm projecting out there.
Yeah.
Hey, this person gave me a card, gave me a pen, whatever it was. It's a trinkety little pen. Nobody cares about the pen.
Right.
But they were like, they didn't ask me to sell my house.
Yep.
They asked me when I was thinking about selling, give them a call.
Yeah.
If I had questions about the market, give them a call.
Yeah.
Right. So that's how I kind of get myself out of the dumps. And when you're busy, it's surprisingly the same.
Yeah.
Like when you are so busy, I'll go back to COVID, and everybody was busy. Yeah. We were all busy, to the point where it was overwhelming, where you start going, I can't do this. I can't keep up. My phone rang all the time.
Yeah.
Like it would start ringing at 7 o'clock in the morning. It would maybe stop at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Just question after question after question. Right. So that can be as exhausting as well.
For sure.
So you've got to, when the highs are really high, I was always told, throw a little bit of dirt in the valley.
Yep.
So the fall isn't so far.
Yeah, that's really smart. That's
right?
really smart.
So when you're doing lots of business up here and then it starts going down, throw a little bit of dirt in there so it softens the thing. But just generally get out and talk to people. That's what this industry is all about.
Yeah.
And I've always found, and maybe it's not as successful as maybe some other people are, don't ask them about selling their house tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. Again, engage in what they're interested in. If someone has no interest in selling their house,
they're not going to sell.
They're never going to sell. Doesn't matter how nice I am, how good my suit is, or anything like that, or how nice my pen is.
For sure.
Or my business card.
They're either in the market or they're not.
Right. When you're considering selling,
give
me a shout. Or if you have questions, I'm here to help.
Yeah.
Right. And it takes the edge off of it, because I find salespeople all the time, they're always, the ABC, always be closing.
Yeah.
always be asking for the sale.
You got to walk that fine line.
Yeah, there's merit to that. But at the same time, it's like, how many times are they getting inundated with that in a day?
Well, and you're probably realistically not the only one that's giving them a call and knocking on their door.
Guaranteed.
Right? You got 86,000 or however many in the GTA.
Yeah.
They're getting that same call once a week, maybe.
Yeah.
And I've called somebody and they said, I called them probably about 3:00 in the afternoon. This was last week. And they're like, you're the 5th person that's called me today.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
And I was like, wow, everybody's clearly on the phone today. But yeah, they're like, can you guys like maybe just like, I don't mind you guys calling and checking in, but can you maybe not call as much? I was like, really apologize. No worries at all.
Yeah.
And really sweet on the phone. But yeah, I mean, you're just another number, right? And so that's where the standout really you have to showcase what you're able to do.
Yeah. I found too that when I was doing my door knocking, you would agitate people. You would irritate people.
Yes.
Right? Because you'd go in and you'd knock on the neighborhood doors and you'd talk to people.
They see you coming down the street.
Not him again.
Yeah.
Right? It's like he just doesn't give up.
Yeah.
Well, and that's a good quality to have.
Yeah.
I don't give up.
Some people love it. Some people hate it. Right.
And I remember knocking on this one lady's door and she's like, I've told you 3 times I'm not moving.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I understand that. I said, I'm just here to drop off your pen today. And
That's
she's like,
really...
what?
Yep.
I said, I'm here to drop off your pen. Have a nice day. And I walked away.
That's amazing.
And she called me back and she said, well, would you want to see what we did with the kitchen? Because we've like renovated the kitchen since the last time you were here. So I was like, sure. Yeah.
Why not?
I'm curious, right?
You're a person that's having just a people conversation.
Right.
Right. You're not looking to you list tomorrow with me and being pushy, right? You're there to assist when they need help.
Yeah. And maybe one day she might call me.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've been knocking on their door for 8 years.
Nice.
Right. Here's your pen.
Yep. Yep. Hey, and that's where I think it comes back to, it's not that initial conversation. It's not the first time you knock on the door. Yeah. It's not the last time you knock on it. It's what do you do leading up to them giving you the call and saying, hey, I'm ready now. I need your help. You've been so great at follow up. And that's the best feeling in the world is when they call you and say, hey, you've been so great with following up with us and checking in. How's the family? How's the kids? You guys doing all right? If you need anything, reach out. Yeah. When you just are another person and not a salesperson to them, they love it. Yeah, no, and it is. And I think that's where you and I are very, very similar after this conversation and saying, in building business, building the relationships. And I think it's the other way around. Yes. I think you and I look at it as building relationships in order to build a business. Absolutely. Right. So I think that's really important. I've really enjoyed talking to you today. This has been great. This is really insightful. And I know we talked about doing this beforehand. For sure. And I've really enjoyed it. You're a very talented realtor. I do appreciate it. That's why I liked having you on here. You're young, you're motivated, and there's just a lot to be said for that. Thank you. And it's I'm gonna see where you're gonna be in 5 years. I'm excited for the journey for sure. So just on wrapping up, tell people a little bit something about you that they may not. I didn't ask today, or that you wanna share, or something unique about you and your journey getting here, because I'm really curious. Man, that's a loaded question. Yeah, it is. It's I mean, I think there's so many things I could talk for probably an hour on it. Yeah. But I think for any realtor that's out there looking at getting into the industry, you're going to come in, you're going to get that paperwork, you're going to get that certificate saying that you're licensed, and you're going to be full of energy. You're going to be excited to get out there and start making those calls. And you're going to find out really quick that it's not as easy as just knocking on the door and putting your sign on the lawn. No, it's not. As we've talked this entire time, there's a lot that goes into it, but don't get down on yourself. It comes around. You just got to keep putting the work in. Yeah. Find something, if you're getting into the business, that you really enjoy doing, and hammer it home until you're good to go, right? Just keep on keeping on with it. Yeah. And any client that's out there, when you're going out and looking for a realtor to work with, find someone for you that you not only relate to, but as we've talked about, isn't just there for the transaction. Yeah. Right. Find someone that truly cares about what they're doing and how they're going to help you along the journey, because that's what's going to make the process stress-free and more successful for you. Yeah. Great advice on all sides. Sorry. And this has been
Wonderful.
Yes. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
I'm glad we made the time this morning
great.
for this. I'm just going to run up the tunes here to take us out, so people know that we're wrapping this up today.
Beautiful.
Because you and I could probably keep talking for
all day
for another hour and a half.
Absolutely.
So thank you, Jake Painter, sales representative here at Remax Jazz.
Thank you.
You've been wonderful. So again, thank you for your time.
Appreciate it.
Talk to you next time.